Hey everybody. If you are trying to figure out a way to have consistently good mental health on a regular basis using a daily routine, and you're not sure what to do, then this is definitely going to be a very valuable video for you. If you don't know who I am, my name's Hicks. I'm the CEO of Mental Health Solutions. I'm a mental health coach. I help people either dramatically reduce or eliminate feelings of anxiety or depression, usually within about 90 days. I do what I do because I used to be suicidal and traditional coping mechanisms didn't really work well for me, but I want you to have the mental health you deserve by learning how to train your brain to work the way you want it to. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the daily habits that I've found work exceptionally well to keep people on track. So when I have clients who go through my traditional program, they have to accomplish certain things in order to get to that place of having the mental health that they want. We first have to identify what each one of the internal mental patterns are that are causing them issues. Second, I have to help them learn a series of conditioning tools to make sure that those old repetitive patterns no longer are the dominant ones. Third, we have to condition new repetitive positive patterns and make those the automatic ones that they experience on a regular basis. And once those three have been obtained, maintaining the results is actually kind of the simpler part because we've already done kind of the heavy lifting on the inner work stuff. And one thing that is absolutely critical I've learned over the years is that you need to have a daily system in order to get results on a regular basis. And this is just kind of a law of the universe. Right? Like if you do something beneficial for yourself once, then you might get a very, very, very tiny benefit. But if you do that beneficial thing every single day, you get compounding benefit. And the way our nervous system operates, it becomes habitual. So you don't even really have to think about it after a while. It just becomes the new normal, the new script. So now your mind is automatically going into the positive where it used to go into the negative, which is really cool. So you want to have the attitude, if you want to maintain exceptionally good mental health for your lifetime, then what you're going to need is the attitude of a daily conditioning process. Just like if you want to be in very good physical shape for the rest of your life, that's not going to come unless you have a regular exercise routine, right? And if you use the same types of dietary habits that got you healthy in the first place. You need consistency in order to maintain consistent results, right? Actions create results. Consistent actions create consistent and compounding results. And that's what we're really after for you, for sustainability. So I wanted to compose a sort of basic template daily routine that you can use to improve your mental health and keep it in a very improved state that I thought would be applicable to just about anybody. And I've seen this work. This is not like theoretical. This is not, what I would imagine works. This literally works. And in fact, I use essentially this exact same system for myself every single day. Works very well, works for my clients very well. You can make tiny tweaks to it based off of your own individual goals, but I'll walk you through it in detail. And before I get going, let me also just kind of add one other thing, because commonly people have an attitude of, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Tell me something new. That's kind of an attitude a lot of people have. And here's something that has helped improve my life dramatically. If we all just did what we actually know we need to do, then we would have most of what we want in our life, right? Most people don't have a lack of knowledge, they have a lack of execution. So if you hear something I say today and you go, oh, that sounds basic or that sounds simple, here's what you really want to remember. People who are very advanced are not really doing anything that's totally different than the rest of people. What they're really doing is they're mastering the basics. An example I like to give is Michael Jordan, or I guess nowadays, right, like Steph Curry is another good example. They both had a very similar attitude with becoming exceptional basketball players. They both practiced about twice as much as the regular NBA player. Twice as much. So think about it. If you're trying to become really good at basketball and you practice as much as everybody else, you'll be pretty good. But if you practice twice as much and you never miss your practice and you always do 2,000 free throws, which is what I believe MJ was doing back in the day, you're going to get damn good at free throws because you're building the muscle memory through sheer repetition, so much so that when you're in the clinch moments of a like point defining game, your body will know what to do. And that's kind of the attitude here. What we want to do is make sure that you master the basics. If you master the basics of how to train your mind to think and feel how you want it to, and you do that through a repetitive process on a daily basis where you're training your brain to think positively and go in the right direction, then that means that when shit hits the fan, your mind will be able to default to its training, okay? So remember, we don't rise to the level of our dreams and our hopes. We sink to the level of our conditioning and our training, right? You don't get really good. You don't get your great mental health just because you want it. Wanting it is good, but it's not enough. What you have to do is you have to use a system in order to get it, okay? So anyway, let's jump into it and let's go forward with me showing you this. And I want you to see that people who are advanced are really just people who do the basics without fail on a repetitive basis over a long enough time horizon so that they reap the results, okay? So the very first thing that you want to be able to do is we want to make sure that you are waking up at the same time every day, okay? And this may seem unnecessary, but I'll tell you that this does actually make a difference, okay? In fact, in my own life, I have found that when I stick with this, I feel a lot better. When I don't do this, I feel a lot worse. Okay, and there is a lot of reasons for this. There is some new research that's come out on sleep in particular that suggests that regularity is one of the most important factors for quality, consistent sleep. So just from the standpoint of you waking up every day feeling more rested, regularity is a key piece of what makes that happen. The second thing that I've found is really important is that when you create the regularity of, nope, we're getting up at this time, it kind of gives you that initial like spark for the day so that all of these other habits can take place. Because like if you've got these other 7 things, I guess, that you're going to do throughout the day, but you don't get the day started at that regular time and you sleep in another hour, well, now what you'll do is you'll find it easier to fudge on the other items. And so I really don't recommend that. Getting up at the same time is really important. It also regulates your circadian rhythm. It just helps your brain regulate your energy. And particularly if you're feeling depressed or sad, the fastest thing you can do to improve how you feel without doing anything else is just get on a regular sleep, like wake up time. And if you get on a regular wake up time and get yourself building the habit of getting out of bed, then your go to bed time will regulate itself as well. So that's the very first thing. Just pick a time and do it, right? And stick with it, okay? Now, the second thing that we want to do is you want to make sure that you get up immediately, okay? You got to train yourself to do this. Get up and out of bed immediately. Because just having an alarm that goes off at 7 a.m. is not sufficient if you're just going to sit there and lay there and do all these, other things. It's not good. You need to get your body moving. And there's a lot of reasons for this too. When you get your body moving, you start moving the lymphatic system, which is really powerful for energy, mental clarity. When you stay stationary, your mind is going to stay cloudy and groggy for a long period of time. If you get yourself moving and get active, you get your metabolism moving, which is really important for energetic levels as well. But also just from a sheer psychological standpoint, energy will compound when it is in motion, right? An object in motion is easier to stay in motion than to get an object that is not in motion in motion. So what you want to do is train the brain of, nope, we're getting up and we're moving. Because when you're moving and you're moving forward, and I'm going to show you through these other rituals, what you're moving towards, that's part of what creates mentally healthy and a mentally healthy experience. We feel well, we feel fulfilled when we are in a state of moving forward towards something. We do not feel happy and fulfilled when we are in a stationary mode, almost always, okay? So immediately get up. One little hack here, I'll add this, I guess, as a little extra one, is ideally make your bed. Okay, now again, you're probably saying, Ty, I've heard this before. Yeah, well, it does make a difference, okay? You don't have to do this, but it does help. The people who actually get up and make the bed, they will find it's easier for them to get up consistently on a regular basis. And it really is true that you start to feel that tiny sense of accomplishment. And so you feel that little boost of progress, which then gets you a little bit more of an energy reserve that you can take into your next habit. So I highly recommend do that, okay? The third thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you use a mental conditioning process to train your brain. There we go. How cute is that? That looks horrible on my notes, but whatever. Train your brain. You need to do some type of mental training process. You wouldn't wake up in the morning and not brush your teeth because you know that daily teeth brushing, right, is imperative for teeth health. Right? You wouldn't not do that because you know if you don't, it's going to cause a big problem for you later on. It's the same thing here. You need a mental conditioning process that you do every day, and that's kind of the attitude. Now, it doesn't have to take you very long. When I take my clients through this process, we have them test a couple different dozen conditioning strategies because we want to figure out what actually their nervous system responds to. You may, through your own research in this area, may have already figured out that there's something you respond well to. Like maybe you're the type of person that if you meditate every day regularly, you might suck at it at first, but you get better at it over time, and it does make a big difference for you. You might be the type of person who really benefits from having like a guided process. By the way, if you would like, feel free to let me know in the comments if you would like access to one of the guided meditations that I use with my clients a lot. I'm happy to send that to you. And that can be very helpful, but you need something that's going to train your brain to think positively, feel positively. There's another resource we just published not too long ago that would be very helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you'd like it. And it is, we call it the daily habit you need to train your brain to think positively within 15 minutes a day. And what it is it's a series of questions that you can go through that cause your brain to go down good rabbit holes. Like you start to get your brain to think positive thoughts and imagine positive things for your day before you even get started, which is really powerful, okay? So you want to, here's the attitude you want to have, right? If it's not growing, it's dying. And that applies to your physical body, and that applies to your mental state, right? Your mind, okay? So that's what you really want to do. Wake up at the same time, get up immediately and make your bed. And I just realized I got the order out of these slightly wrong, so forgive me on that, please. This one is number 4, train your brain. What you really want to do actually is, let me get my new notes here. Okay, number 3, what you want to do here is okay, so number 3, what you actually want to do is you want to do some form of exercise. Okay, now there's all kinds. People can go on a walk. It doesn't have to be strenuous, okay? You don't have to do lifting or strength training or something like that if you don't want to. But what's most important is that you are doing something that actually advances your health, that improves it, and that it's something that's going to make your body move. That's really all that matters. It really doesn't matter. I will give you a pro tip, though, that you need to have a plan the night before of what your exercise is going to be so that you actually follow through on it. Because people who just wake up in the morning and go, oh, right, I need to exercise. Well, what do I feel like doing? Oh, I don't feel like doing anything. Well, I guess I could walk. No, it's kind of rainy outside. I could do this, right? When you don't set a plan the night before, your mind will have to burn the mental calories of trying to decide the next morning, and it will usually go to the lowest common denominator, which will be skipping the exercise. So you want to pick a plan the night before, okay? Exercise for just 15 minutes. You can do more than that, but ideally at least 15 minutes, okay? Then you go to number 4, do your brain training exercise right after you've done your physical training exercise, okay? Number 5, what you want to do for number 5 is there, I'm going to say this in the most generic terms and then I'll give you some examples. Okay, what you want to do is you want to set an intention or a plan for your day. Now, let me give you some tips. Okay, what this is not, I suppose setting like a to-do list would be better than nothing at all, like having no plan for your day whatsoever. But ideally, what you really want to do is you want to set an intention for your day that means something to you. So there is a tool that we provide. There's a tiny little tool that we provide our clients. We call it the Personal Freedom Day Planner. And what it is, it takes about 10 minutes and it simply helps you set a very clear intention for the day where you're deciding what you want from the day, not what you think you have to do, but you're setting it up to say, well, wait a minute, what do I want to get out of the day? And it helps you crystallize that into specific actions that will make you feel good. Because one of the things that causes stress and anxiety is you're spending way too much time focusing on other people's demands or just simply responding to what you feel like you have to do. And what makes people feel fulfilled and energized and motivated is fixating on what they want for the day. So ideally, I would recommend you do this in kind of a structured way. Like you could use our day planner for that or a similar process for yourself. Time blocking is a useful tool I've used in the past. But even at a bare minimum, what you want to do is set a sort of loose intention where you say, like, you know what I really want from today is I want to make a couple great memories with my kids. Or what I really want from today is I want to really reconnect with my partner. Or what I want from today is to really improve the sales in my business, right? Whatever it is. So going through your day, having a clear target set that you want, that matters to you, your energy will go in that direction. And what that creates is a sensation that you're making progress. And progress equals happiness. When we feel like we're making progress towards something that matters to us, we feel happy. When we don't set a intention, then we're essentially just letting our energy and our focus be in reaction to the outside world. So other people's demands, things that are urgent, things that we fear, distractions, and those things will not make you fulfilled, right? Because you feel like there's no progress being made and you really just feel like you're in reaction to your life. So you need to make sure that you have an intention, okay? The more specific, the better. Ideally, have it, like for me, I set up a plan for literally what am I going to be doing like every hour of the day, because I know very clearly what I'm after in my life, right? And if you don't know very clearly what you're after in your life, then you're going to feel lost and frustrated. Okay, so that's where you would start if you don't know what to set your intention for the day. You can also start small too. Okay, number 6. Now what you're going to do is, surprise, surprise, take action. But not just take action towards your goals, right? Your goals, your intentions, whatever, okay? However you want to word that. That's what you really want to be taking action towards. You're not just taking action, like you're not just doing a bunch of chores. You're not just responding to a bunch of emails. You're not just doing any random action at all. You're doing action that you find to be meaningful. And it's meaningful because it's action that gets you closer to what you want in your life. Now, this could be all sorts of things. A lot of times people hear me say take action and they think I'm talking about like going and refiling your database on your computer or like going and cleaning your basement. It's not always like an action like that. Sometimes the action is, okay, what do I really want? I want to make a good memory with my kids. Okay, cool. I'm going to plan a picnic at the park, and we're going to go do a picnic at the park today. That's taking action. Then you get up, you go to the store, you get the picnic items, you come home, you say, hey, everybody, we're going to the park. That's taking action towards your goals, right? But when you're directionless, you'll always feel lost. Like you'll always feel upset, right? So that's what you want to do. Okay, take action towards your goals. And that's going to be the bulk of your day. So if you use a time blocking process, right, you're taking action towards things that matter to you, or you're spending time connecting with people that matter to you, or whatever, right? You're just taking whatever action makes sense for your life. Okay, then you get to the end of your day, and there's a couple things that you're going to do at the end of the day to set yourself up really well for the next day. So what you want to do is, number one, recount the progress that you made that day. Recount the progress, or just simply think through, like, what are you grateful for? So for me, I like to do this like literally as I'm like laying down to go to bed. So I like to think, yeah, what am I really excited that I got done today? Or what were some highlights from my day that I really enjoyed? And part of the reason why you want to do this is when you activate the brain's retrieval process, that's what impacts your long-term memory. So things will go in one ear and out the other ear unless we go back and retrieve it. When we go back and retrieve it, it's like building another pathway in the brain. So it makes it easier for us to go back and retrieve it again in the future. And this becomes really powerful. Sorry, I got something in my eye. This becomes really powerful for building long-term motivation and long-term joy and long-term gratitude. Because what happens is, when you start to feel that you're making progress on a regular basis, you will then feel motivated, right? Progress equals happiness. When we feel we're making progress, we go, oh my gosh, I'm getting closer. Now, because I'm getting closer, I feel more certain I can actually get this thing done that I want. So now I'm going to go after it even more so, right? So that's a really powerful thing. And it's just good for gratitude, right? Gratitude and happiness comes about when we've created lots of connections in our brain where we can re-access happy memories. So when at the end of the night, you think to yourself, oh my gosh, yeah, what did I enjoy about today? Or what did I learn today? Then you're building all those connections, all right? And that means your mind will be more disposed in the future to go down those positive directions than the negative ones, okay? And then finally, number 8, is you're going to set kind of a loose intention for the next day. So how I like to think about this is you imagine the next day going how you want. Okay, and that's literally what I'll do. So as I'm going to bed, I think to myself, gosh, yeah, I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to wake up at this time. I'm going to work out this particular workout routine. And then, yeah, I'm really excited to make progress on these items tomorrow, right? So you set an intention for the day. And by the way, this is, again, not theory. This is like, they've actually done studies on this, like that. There was one done, gosh, I can't remember if it was Harvard or Yale. I can't remember, but there was a study that was done on test takers. And they took test takers of similar aptitude, and all they did was they had one group of test takers just take the test like normal. And then the other group of test takers, what they did was they had them the night before the test, they had them imagine the next day going how they wanted it to go. And those people who did that scored higher on the test. So there is something to be said about this kind of idea of intentionality with the nervous system. Our nervous system responds well to having a set target or intention. We're able to go after it and make that happen. So you never want to live your life without some kind of an intention of what you're trying to get out of it and where you're trying to go. So it's really powerful. Now, again, some of this stuff may seem basic to you, right? But so is eating right and exercising. But if everybody just ate right and exercised every day, you'd have the level of physical health that you want. Right? So sometimes it doesn't have to be some big complicated thing. Isn't that good that it's actually simple, right? Like all you got to do is some simple things in order to make this happen. I think it's cool. Last little tip I'm going to give you is on the implementation side of this. Here's what I found. Don't try to do all 8 of these all at once because it will become frustrating for you. Instead, what you really want to do is pick go one at a time. And just do that one for like 7 days. Like as in, it's great if you do all 8, but make it a requirement for yourself that you're going to do just the first one. Like you don't want to beat yourself up if you say, okay, great, I'm going to do all 8 of these. And then the very next day you do 3, but not all 8. Because if you do 3 out of all 8, even though you made progress, you might beat yourself up and go, oh, damn it, I didn't do it. And then you'll give up. But instead, remember, progress equals happiness. So instead, just pick one to start with, waking up at the same time, and say, you know what, this week, I'm going to build the habit of waking up at the same time. And whatever else I do for the rest of the day, no problem. But I am absolutely drawing the line in the sand. I'm going to wake up at the same time every day and make that your new standard. Then on your second week, make it non-negotiable that you not only wake up, but you get out of bed and make your bed, right, immediately when you do so. Third week, do the first two, because now the first two will feel more automatic to you. And then third, you want to just go and do your exercise, right? Whatever you need to do there. Okay. So I hope this helps you. Please do it, right? It'll work if you actually do it, right? If we all just did what we know, then we would have most of what we actually want in our life. So just do what you need to do and you'll be just fine. Okay. So I hope this is helpful to you. Please let me know questions or comments below, or if you would like any access to the resources that I mentioned throughout this video, let us know and we'll get those to you. And we'll be excited to serve you in the next video. Take care. Bye.